I don't know if both platforms are live. All right, there we go. Now both sets of platforms are live. Hello, 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 everyone. Incredible greetings. Incredible greetings, incredible greetings, incredible greetings. Hello, all of my creatives. How are you guys doing? As you come in, drop a hey, how you doing? If you're watching the playback, also drop a hey, how you doing? Let me know where you are watching from. Let's see here. Let's go in and we're going to share this out. Let's go back. You are watching from. Let's see here. There we go. All right, so I had to mute that real quick. And then let's go ahead and hit share. All right. I am freezing. I just had a cup with ice in it and I am freezing. Let's see. All right, let me go over here and share this out from here. Share and paste and share. And then share again. Okay, all shared out. So let's get into this. Drop a hey, how you doing? As you guys come on, I'd love to see who is on with us. And we are going to dive into this custom stationery because the questions are getting crazy, okay? I posted one video and I'm being totally honest. I was poking fun at it because when I originally saw it, it wasn't for like, it wasn't being used in the way a lot of people are using it now. So because of the trend, and I low-key think that many creatives thought it was kind of silly and they wanted to make it make sense. So they started, I saw like, a lot of different posts where it's like think outside the box, like, encourage you guys to think outside the box, which you really should, for things like notes for kids, like, notes that you would send to your kids like off to school instead of a regular sticky note. Some people were doing like notes to their husbands, like in their lunchbox. Some people were doing letters to Santa. And it's something that's always, like, not say always, but like, it's been done for a while. It's not anything new when it comes to the world of like journals and custom like to-do lists and notepads and things of that nature. Like, this is nothing new. but it's trending right now. And originally it was trending, or like, what I saw, uh, as far as what was making it trend right now in 2020, October 2025, on TikTok, someone did some, and they call them jail letters or prison letters, and they have a loved one or significant other that is locked up, and so that they weren't just sending them regular, just regular letters on regular paper. They printed pictures, in hopes that it will also allow them to kind of see their family, be able to get more pictures and things of them. So they were putting it on the letter, like they were designing it and then printing it out to then go and write their letter to their loved one or whatever. And so I saw that, and it was pretty interesting to me, because many of the people that I saw doing it, they were making lines on the paper and it still looked like loose leaf paper. There was a lot of people that I saw that had blue lines and the red line. It literally looked like regular paper when they printed it out. And then there were some that did it in like grayscale, so black and white. But the first one that I saw, it was like regular loose leaf paper. And I was like, why are we printing on loose leaf paper? I mean, why are we creating loose leaf paper to print on copy paper? We can just print some loose leaf paper. So it was kind of funny to me. I'm like, why do you just want to put the regular paper in the printer? So I did make a video where I was like, we can print on regular paper. Why are we like, creating lines and taking the time to create, like, to make new lines when there's paper that comes with lines? And so I was poking fun kind of at that. There are a lot of people that came and said, well, I do this because I want heavier paper, or I do this for journals. And these are all like, good reasons. And like I said, people are using for all sorts of things, but what was making it trend? That's the one thing that we have to understand. What was making this trend is not all of the things that people are doing now. Now it's all of we're making custom stationery, which is not something that's new. We've been making custom stationery for quite some time. But like I said, it's trending right now. And the questions are still coming, wanting to know how to do it. I did put out a video. It was done from my phone. I smell lemon somewhere, and it is driving me nuts. It's like in my office somewhere, there is I thought it was in my trash can, and I put it out, but I must have had tea or something, but there is a lemon that is not so great, because like that, it lets off this smell, and it's driving me crazy. Sorry about that. But I was still getting questions about it. There are posts going around, and people are asking about how to do this custom stationery. Do you need Canva? Like, that's the biggest question. Do you need Canva Pro to do it? Is it only for pictures? You guys love a good AI. So I've seen several of them now to where they're not even using regular images and regular photos of people. They're starting to incorporate their AI images. Last week's trend, or like last week and then plus a week, so like 2 weeks ago, within like the past 2 weeks, the trend was the professional like photo shoots utilizing AI. And so I just recently saw someone that, that's like, oh, I combined the two things that I learned. And so they took their image from their professional AI photo shoot, and they were adding it to a notebook page. That was their way of utilizing their AI image for like their photo shoot. I thought, I was like, okay, they're combining two very, very recent trends. You can literally put anything on these guys, and it's easy. And it's not just a Canva thing. Because so many people have access to Canva, and because Canva works about the same from the desktop and the mobile device, and a lot of people can use like from their iPads, especially if you have like an Apple Pencil or a stylus, it becomes a lot easier to navigate and do things. Whatever something is done in Canva, it's like highlighted, and it's like, oh my God, this is like the greatest thing ever, because it's being done in Canva, when we've been doing this in other programs for a long time now. And then I started getting the questions like, hey, why haven't you done a video for Silhouette Studio? because you already have the skills, you already have the knowledge and the know-how. It's no different than anything else that you've done before. If it's, if you wanted to make your own lines, then I asked her the question like, do you know how to make a straight line? What do you do to make a straight line? Hold down shift. Okay, so you know how to do that. Was a tutorial really necessary, or what did you really want that confident booster? And then with speaking to someone else, it was kind of the same thing. So I realized it's not a matter of like not knowing how to do it. It's just being a little scared, being a little apprehensive about going to the system of for some reason or another. Some of you guys are just afraid of messing up, and you really possess the skills and the know-how to do this. You've utilized these tools. You know how to make a line and add thickness to it, or make a really thin rectangle. You know how to rotate a line, if you wanted to make it in Silhouette Studio, but it's just some type of hang up where it's like, okay, but can you still do a tutorial? It's like, all right. Then they asked me like the one that I did, which program did I do that from? And I'm like, I didn't use Canva. Let me see, is it right here? It may not be close by because it's stuff everywhere. And I've been moving stuff around because I had to work on my Florida HBCU Unity shirts because the supplies for it came in. Okay, wait, where did mine go? Hold on. Alrighty then. Oh, they're right up here. Oh. Okay, so like I did my image of Zion Imani, right? So that's zippy. And this is regular loose leaf paper. And then I did like this one. And so they were asking like, well, what program did you do it in? Some of you guys are really good. Like, I think I'm starting to create some monsters with some of you guys where you kind of noticed that there was a void where the lollipops were, and it wasn't like right on top of the letter. So hold on, I'm not sure if you guys can see. See right there where there's a void. So somebody actually pointed that out, and they were asking like, how did I do that part? Like, did I use Canva? Did I use Silhouette Studio? And I was like, dang, look at y'all being all investigative and being all detailed and stuff and picking up on the little details. I was like, okay. But that was a dead giveaway that I use Silhouette Studio because it's not as easy, but like a thickness that big in Canva, you start to get these little spikes and it is annoying. So this was definitely done in Silhouette Studio. And they were asking, well, can you do that? Because I had the video that I made was with Canva. I didn't think that I had to do a Silhouette video because I'm always showing things in Silhouette Studio. You know how to take the transparency down and make lines. But there are some who are actually newer to Silhouette Studio. I have to remember sometimes that I have been utilizing it for 11, 12 years. But there are some, due to like either my videos or me just saying, hey, it's free, download it. It is brand new to a lot of people. And I'll admit that I took that for granted. So here we are tonight, and we are going to explore Silhouette Studio and Canva, answer any questions that you have, because there have been a lot of questions about this whole thing and like what your limitations are, what you can and cannot do. If you have questions, feel free to go ahead and drop them in the comment section. You don't have to wait for me to like potentially get to that part. Go ahead, start dropping your questions. Share this out, guys. There are a lot of your fellow creatives who are still having trouble wrapping their head around how this works. And one of the other like major things is not even about designing. They will take the time to design, but just not understanding that print factor of not getting it full bleed. And why is it not working? So we're going to talk about that and address that as well, which is why I put in, when I shared it, I said, this is going to be a masterclass level training, because we're going to break it down from A to Z. If you're ready, say you're ready. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, a like, depending on which platform you are watching on. Share it out, guys. Drop a comment. Like, your engagement helps it reach people who might already be following me, but the algorithm is not letting them know that your girl is live with a really good training. So just drop a comment. All you gotta do is just say hi. That's it. It don't hurt. You're here. I see you here because I can see the numbers. So I know you were here. I just don't know exactly who's here because y'all aren't even saying hello. You're not introduced. Jump in, jump out, and introduce yourself. Jump in, jump out, and introduce yourself. All right. So I thought, hey. I thought they were printing on lined paper, not that they were making line. No, so the trend that was like online, they were making the lined paper and printing on like regular copy paper. So they were physically making the lines, or they would, like, if you have Canva Pro, Canva Pro does have a lot of pre-made lines. Now, there are some available in the free version as well, but they're a little bit harder to find compared to the ones that are Canva Pro. Of course, they're going to show that one and show all the different options for that first and foremost. But there are some free ones where you don't have to make your lines. But it's like, if you really, really wanted to, like, and you don't want to pay for Canva, you're just utilizing the free version of Canva, you can manually create the paper. And it's a little bit different from the phone versus a desktop. If you're on a desktop, it's a whole lot easier, a whole lot faster to do it because you can easily click and drag and select everything. And then do tidy up to, like, arrange everything, especially if you want your lines to be a specific distance. That's when you really would need to make your lines. If like the pre-made templates in Canva, if the lines were too thin, if they were too wide, and you wanted to make it a specific size, then you would need to go in there or in any program and make the lines yourself. Okay. So that's where, that it is beneficial to know how to do it. If you wanted your lines to be a specific color, if you want them to be a certain distance apart. But like I said, a lot of people were designing it out, putting their design there, and then printing it all out. Okay. Let's see. So ready. Good evening. Incredible greetings. Incredible evening. Hello, Delaware. Hello. All right. So which programs are you guys currently using? Those of you who are watching, what design softwares are you using? Are you a Canva girly or dude? Are you into Silhouette, Affinity, Photoshop, Cricut? What design softwares are you using? And I am freezing. I'm sorry. I got a robot. I'm cold. I'm cold. Okay, so I see some Silhouette Studio, Affinity and Silhouette, mainly Canva and Silhouette, Silhouette, Photoshop, and Canva, Silhouette. Okay. So have any of you guys, have you guys seen, you even know what I'm talking about? Well, without me showing them, now you probably know because I showed that. But have you guys seen the trending, some people are just calling it custom stationery, some people are just calling it custom notebook. Some people are calling it what it originally was, which is custom jail letters or prison letters. So have you guys seen this trend? Who here has already attempted the trend? Hello, Pamela. Incredible greetings. Welcome. She says Canva and Cricut. Okay. So I'm going to leave your comment up because that's a very interesting combination when it comes to this particular craft, I guess you would call it. So no, haven't seen it. Yes, I've seen and did it previously. I started seeing it after your post. Okay. Well, meaning after my post. Let's see here. All right, we got to get those Facebook numbers up. Y'all go ahead and, oh, wait, you know what? It's probably comments. I always forget. Let me go over here. Let me go back to my page because when I go live, I'm not able to see, and there are there's quite a few comments. I was not ignoring you guys. I promise you I wasn't. All right. So hi, Keita, Jackie from Virginia, Silhouette, only on you've only seen it on my platform. Okay. And for anyone else, because it said 8 comments, it's only showing me 5. So if you left a comment, I'm not ignoring you. I just remembered to come over here, so I didn't see it. Redrop your comment if I didn't mention your name and the comment that you left. Okay. Let's see. So yes. Hey, incredible greetings. No, I haven't seen it. Oh, wow. Hello from Orlando. Whoa. So was it Kristen? You're in Orlando. Will you be at the Printing United Expo next week? I will be in Orlando next week for the Printing United Expo. I'm super excited. Excited. That's one of the first expos that I went to outside of event planning, like many years ago. And that's like, I'm like a kid in a candy store because that's where all of the printers that I like. Y'all are into like the sublimation, DTF, impressions is like a lot of embroidery, but baby, when it comes to the eco-solvent and solvent and latex type printers for banners and all that kind of good jazz, that's it's like a kid in the candy store. I cannot wait to just be up close and personal with those printers. I love looking at the large, like the commercial, the large industry size printers and things of that nature. So I'm really excited to go to Printing United next week. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, of course, next week. So at is it Convention Center? That's what it's called? Yeah. And there are several vendors where, because they're vending, they've been putting it like on their social media, on their websites, like their code. I'm not sure, it's not their booth number, it's like their code where you can attend the expo part for free. Because as of right now, there is a fee to attend the expo. So one of the companies is Florida Flexible. So you can go to them. They're here in Miami, but you can go like just to their website just so that you can see the code and go in there, register, put the code in, and then you'll be able to go onto the expo floor. It is humongous. When you go to the website for Printing United and you look at that floor plan, it can be overwhelming. I'm telling you, I was going to do guided tours. I'm still debating because some things happened and I haven't really put it like out there and kind of figured out who all is going to the show, who lives in Orlando or nearby and you plan on going and you've never been to an expo like this, it can be very overwhelming. So I thought about doing like guided tours, probably Thursday, because most people probably won't come on Wednesday. And just showing different things and how to really navigate and get all your sample. Because look, the samples be sampling, okay? Shirt vendors and just that's how I first learned about like wholesale type vendors, and it was Life Beyond Jiffy was going to a place like that. So hey Yolanda, how art thou? So Photoshop, notebook pages, been around for years. It's crazy trend now. So it's been around for years, but most people people have used it for jailhouse letters, but like these are young kids. They're into like it's a TikTok trend. So it's more younger adults, that are just now getting into this. They find, they have not say fine, that's a weird way to say that, but having someone that is locked up, that's incarcerated, and now it's like, oh, I get to go and put my picture on it. And like I said, a lot of someone, not say a lot, but some of the ones I saw, they were combining the trend. So last week it was trending to do your own photo shoot, and it's like everybody had this photo shoot with the key, like the light behind it, holding the roses, whether it was in a heart or like in front of them. That was one of the famous poses. And then there was like the I want to say it was like a Christmas one with like Christmas bulbs, I think. So there was a couple of different like trends of professional photo shoots last week, and some people have started to combine those really sexy girl photo shoots with these letters for their dudes that are incarcerated. So that's what's making it trend right now, but it's definitely not a new technique. This has been around for a really, 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 really long time. She's like life beyond Jiffy. So there's like, that's just where you go and you find like actual wholesalers. Now, some of these companies, you do have to have your resale certificate, and the prices can be slightly lower, especially when you really, really get like bulk quantities. So when I'm ordering shirts by the cases, I'm ordering from like different vendors, and then just seeing different brands. Most of the brands that people know, like, well, now it's like Bella Canva is like one of the premium brands. That's what people consider premium. But there are so many other brands, out there. So going to expos like this just exposes you to different brands of shirts outside of Gildan. Most, they start, we start off making shirts, that's a running joke of, throwing a Nike symbol on a Gildan shirt. Like that's what most people think of when they think of like custom shirts, is just getting a Gildan shirt. But there are so many other wholesale brands out there, and expos like Impressions, Graphics Pro, Printing United. This is where you get to really see, like they'll have displays and you get to see all of these different types of shirts that's available, looking at the different cuts, the different colors, things of that. Like, it's a time is to be had, and Printing United is one of those ones where it can take all 3 days. I think it's still bigger than Impressions in Long Beach, but Impressions in Long Beach is a really, really big one. If you are able to go to the one, it's normally in March in Atlantic City, in early October, sometime in October. This year was early October in Texas for Impressions, but there's all types of expos. If y'all haven't been to one of these expos that's for this industry, now they don't feature converted printers, they don't feature desktop printers, so it can be overwhelming as a beginner crafter when it comes to the machines, and you can get really big-eyed. Now you'll see a lot more of like the DTF printers there, but it would be like a showroom full of eco solvent latex type printers. I remember the very first time I saw like the folding machines, because here I am always thinking like, okay, man, I don't want to sit here and fold up and bag up shirts, individually. Like after there's literally machines, and you just lay it on there and it's folding it up. It opens the bag, drops the shirt in, it'll seal it and then flip it. Like there's literally machines that will do that. And the first time I saw it, I was like, OMG, this is what efficiency looks like. Like, it's not always about like doing everything by hand. So, like I said, the first time I went to one of these expos, I was just like, oh, okay. And then like I haven't been to one in a while. And then I went to Impressions about 2 years ago. And this will be like the first one I've been to in the past like 2 years. So yeah. He's working Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Yeah, because you can't bring kids on the showroom floor. but it's an amazing, amazing experience. All right, so I babbled. I was really trying to kill time. Like I was trying to stall for time to get more people on. I'm hearing so great as Grey's Anatomy come on. Dang. Well, go back, go ahead, watch the playback. I am going to pull it from Facebook because it deletes in 30 days anyway. So I am going to pull it from Facebook. So if you want to watch the playback, I'm only streaming on 365 Creative Academy and Silaholics Anonymous. Because those will be the ones for Silhouette Studio and then we're Canva tutorials. Honestly Speaking's channel, I'm going to pull back on like doing a lot of the like learning stuff on there. If it's not about sublimation or our pigment ink, I'm just not going to put content on that one. So the playback for this will be on YouTube, 365 Creative Academy or Silaholics Anonymous. You can go to either one of those channels to see the playback of this. Okay, if you can't stay to the end. All right. She was like, those things are 30K and up. Yeah, I mean they are. yeah. That's the big machines. Okay. I mean, even like if you're into like screen printing, seeing the efficiency in screen printing. I remember the first time I saw, videos and things of like when you can digitize like burning images in your screens for screen printing. The really big units, like after you've exposed it, or like, I'm sorry, after you've emulsified it, you put it in the like dark air, like the base, like a cabinet, like seeing all that equipment, it's like, this is how they stay efficient. And this is how they can do these like really, really cool and like really large orders, being able to see in action automatic like screen printers where you're not going and you're not pulling the ink, multi-head screen print machine. Like it was just amazing to see all of that like in one place, seeing different like heat presses at one point, like you would see different heat presses. Now it seems like everybody and their mama, like who has a station there where they're screen printing or they're printing, they're heat pressing something, they're using something stalls. But before I used to see different printers and stuff like on the floor. So it's a really, really cool experience if you're ever able to attend any of the expos. Hey, incredible greetings. Yeah, so 3 days. Pick a day, try and come. You won't be able to see the entire floor, but if you look at the floor plan, you will be able to kind of like map out where you want to go, like, based off of like your needs and what you need information on. They give you a bag. People give out plenty of samples of things. So yeah, it's amazing. All right, so let's get into this. All right, what we're talking about are the customized notebook pages. Let's first start off talking about printing. So we'll start at the end and work our way to the design, because there are some they've kind of figured out the design, but they're a little lost when it comes to the printing. Not every printer prints borderless on letter size paper. Okay, you'll have some printers and it's advertised as borderless, but that's normally for standard photo sizes. So you'll be, because it's a large printer, you're able to print borderless on 4x6, 5x7, 7x9, 8x10, maybe, for some printers. But then when you get to that 8.5x11, you're not able to print borderless. It's not an option. Smaller sizes, you'll see it. 8.5x11, 8.5x14, you're 8.5x47. You're not going to see that option for borderless. And that's standard for some printers. And now there are some where even for 8.5x11, they will print borderless. Those tend to be a little bit more pricey. The average printer that most people have, you're not going to be able to print borderless on 8.5 inch wide paper if you have a small format printer. Now, if you have the 11 by, one that prints 11 by 17, it's going to be possible to print borderless on the 8.5 by 11 because the print head will go over that whole area. So you can print borderless. You can, if you have a printer that prints 13 by 19, you can do borderless for 11 by 17. And then there are some where they are true just 11-inch wide printers, but it has extra space, and they are advertised where you can print edge to edge, borderless printing on those as well. But for the most part, you're going to have a margin. The printers are different. I need you guys to understand all of these printers are manufactured differently. You're going to have some people that use Epson, and Epson's print margin is really small. It's as close to borderless as you can get because their print margin is only 0.125. So it's really thin. Whereas printers like Canon's, Brothers, HP's, they are typically around 0.25. That's what the margin will be. So that's like losing almost like a half an inch around the edge. And there's nothing that you can do to print past that. So you're going to end up with a white border. Some of your image will get cut off. On your screen, it's going to flow to the edge. But once you print it out, there's no way for it to print within those margins. Okay. Now you can finesse the bottom margin by telling it that your paper is really 8.5 by, let's say, 8.5 by 12, right? Now, when you put your design on there, your design can't be at 12 because it's going to get cut off. You would have to move it up, and on your design page, from 11 inches to 12 inches, it's going to look blank, but it will continue to print in that space until it gets to like the indicator that says end of page, and then it'll stop printing. But it'll still go because it thinks that it's supposed to be printing 12 inches, and it's going to do that until the paper runs out. So you can get that borderless type look on, like at the bottom of 8.5 by 11. You're not going to be able to get it on the leading edge, but you can get it on the bottom if you want to go and play around with those settings. The sides, you're just not going to be able to get borderless. Okay. That's first and foremost. Not every printer is the same. Not every printer has borderless. And even if your printer does have borderless, make sure that you are checking what sizes does it offer borderless in, because it's normally the smaller photo sizes. 4x6, 5x7, 4x6, 5x7, 7x9. Okay. If you do have a printer that will allow you to print borderless, this is how just about every single printer works. It does not print a true edge to edge as you see it on screen. Okay? It expands that image. So if you have important details near the edges, when you select borderless, it's not just going to take that and print it as is. It's going to still stretch it out a little bit so you can lose important details, which is why especially if you've been following me for any amount of time, what we're going to do a pop quiz, okay? Pop quiz. Whenever you are designing, you should have what within your design? Especially if you're printing to go edge to edge, you should have what incorporated into your design. Do 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 Really? Out of all the people that are watching over on YouTube, I know y'all have watched a video, you have taken a class, and I don't see answers, and I am starting to get very worried because I push this all the time. Don't blame me, y'all. What must be incorporated in your designs? Seriously? Seriously. I'm hoping it's the delay. I am seriously hoping it's the delay, because if y'all can't go and answer this, Houston, we have a problem. If you have been watching me for more than 6 months, it has come up more than one time. Houston, we have a problem. No. What? Oh my God. Okay. I see 1 and 1. Oh wow. Okay. Y'all need to, like, shameless plug. If you don't know the answer to this, you need to go to the comments, to the description, and you need to enroll in our creative design lounge like ASAP Rocky. Like, you need to learn the fundamentals of designing, and you need to be in the creative design lounge like yesterday. Seriously, you need to go. Okay. Every single design should have a safe zone. So thank you, Star, and thank you, Teresa, for commenting that. I guess yours said margin, so I'm not sure if you were talking about like the bleed one or the internal one, but every single design, especially if you are creating something that you're essentially wanting to go near the edge, and even if it's not going near the edge, you still need it. You need a safe zone. If it is a full, I'm not even full bleed, because I do that. Even I'm not doing full bleed, like it's near I just need to save. Like, I don't design without a safe zone. If you are going edge to edge and you desire to have a borderless look, you should have what on that design? If you want a borderless look, you should have what incorporated in your design? Let's try this again. Do 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 do. Hey, Crafty Diva. Do 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 do. Oh my gosh. No one answered that one. No one answered that one. Where y'all learning at? Who teaching y'all? This has to be all new students. Who is watching now has to be students that have never taken one of my classes, one of my design classes. So if you are designing something that you desire to be edge to edge, you must design with a bleed. You must design with a bleed. Now, there are some programs that will add a bleed. We just went through this in our print and cut workshop. So don't use print bleed. If it's not a solid color, do not use print bleed in Silhouette Studio. I'm trying to tell you, it's going to look even crazier. Okay. But print bleeds. So print bleeds are what goes to the outside. You can do that, like I said, through just a click of a button. You can add strokes, or you can add offsets and fill in your patterns and stuff to that. But you want to have a bleed if you're going to do anything edge to edge. And the reason for that, like I said, if you don't, it's going to expand your image and things are going to be cut off. So you want to have that bleed. If you're doing sublimation, you never ever want to try, design right to the edge because things can shift. So you want to have bleed for that. But always, always, always design with a bleed. If you're going to cut anything down, it's best to have a bleed. So that you can either cut into it or cut away the excess, and it gives you a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to laying down vinyl. You don't have to be perfect if you're going to put it onto a specific shape, okay? And then to protect your artwork, you want to have a safe zone. Within your safe zone, it's all the things that you want to make sure it does not get cut off when you are trimming things down. If you're printing it out, you want to have that safe zone, okay? So please remember that. Bleeds and safe zones are key to any design, okay? So yeah, you want to have a bleed. You got to have a safe zone to put your important elements in. If not, it's going to get cut off. Like if I wanted to see his shoes, it's going to get cut off just like that, okay? So you want, if I wanted to make sure that it was going to be visible, I should have moved this image up into that safe zone area to ensure that it does not cut off. Because sometimes you say, okay, well, I know where the margin is, but what if your printer misfires and how it picks up the paper, or it shifts a little bit? That can still end up moving that image down. So if it's in the safe zone, it's safe no matter what happens in that print process, okay? So safe zones is going to be number one. Like I said, with your printers, they don't all print borderless, so be mindful of that. And then the things that will get cut off. I saw at least 5 posts today where people were like, hey, what's going on? My design on my screen goes to the edge, but when I print it out, it has a white border. Not all printers print white. Don't print edge to edge or borderless, okay? We're good, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. Doesn't matter what program you're using. So there's that. Paper that you can print on, there is no right or wrong, guys. I promise you, there is no right or wrong. I've seen so many questions. What paper should I use? And they're going crazy over what paper. It doesn't matter. Whatever paper you have, try it. Just to make sure that your design is how you want it. I mean, paper, of course, will give you different finishes, whether it's glossy, if it's matte, if it's a really quality paper that's going to make the colors pop, which, I mean, we're dropping the transparency, so we really probably don't want it to pop that much anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Like if it's like super, super great paper, it can be done on anything. If you're going to, I'll say this though. You do understand that mail is based off of like weight. So if it's something that you're going to mail off, you want the lightest paper possible, so that you can have the least amount of stamps, or like when they're weighing it, you're not going to get charged an arm and a leg. When the last thing that you want to do is send somebody a letter that's written on cardstock. That is going to be way heavier. And if it's multiple pages, it's going to be heavier. You're going to pay more to ship that. But paper-wise, really, it doesn't matter. This will work on any paper. This is regular loose leaf, meant to go in like a binder type paper. Just school supply paper is what this is. But you can choose to do it on regular copy paper. You can do it on cardstock. You can do it on colored paper. Of course, on colored paper, if you put anything that's supposed to be colored, it's not going to look right. There's no white ink, so the faces will automatically look like the color of the paper, the whites of their eyes, because remember, there is no white. But you can literally print on any paper. There is no specific paper. Say it with me. There is no specific paper. Any paper that will go through your printer, you can print this on. Okay? All right, so make sure I go in order. Paper doesn't matter. Ink does matter. Ink definitely matters. If you are printing to a non-coated paper, Most photo papers are like the glossy papers, they are coated. Okay. Matte papers, not every last one is coated. Look for a paper that has color lock, because if you are printing with your, all the ones y'all love, your Epson EcoTank printers, 2800s, 15,000s, like any of those type printers, your HP printers, your Brother printers, most of your Canon printers that you're using, and the Canon tank printers, unless you pay $400 for an 8.5-inch wide printer, you are using dye ink. Dye ink will run. I don't care what paper you put it on, whether it's copy paper, loose leaf paper, that paper is not coated. I did a whole video and I was spraying stuff down. It will run. So if you get water, those of you who want to make these as like stationery, make them as journal in, like, for journals and things of that nature. If you are printing it out and you used a dye-based printer, the 8550 dye-based, 15,000 dye-based. So if the paper is not coated and some ice flicker, some water flicker, you drop something on it, all of that ink is going to run. It is going to run off the pages. It's going to run off the pages. The letters that you guys are sending to them folk in the jailhouse, okay? Unless you did yours in grayscale and your printer had photo black ink, which is pigment ink, if it gets wet, it's going to run, okay? If that letter gets caught in the rain and that envelope gets wet, when they open it up, well, not to jailhouse, because the warden and the other people are going to open it up and they're going to photocopy it anyway. But if it gets wet, all that ink is gone, people. Y'all know how I feel about ink. It is going to be like disappearing ink. Okay, it's going to bleed. It's going to crack if it gets wet. Pigment ink, however, does not run. This is why you can print from a pigment ink printer. Like my Canon back there is a pigment ink. It's a specific one. My Epson Workforce printer, these are pigment inks. I can print on anything. It's going to get wet. The paper might break down. You got cheaper paper, the paper might rip, but that ink ain't going nowhere. Let that thing dry, throw some tape on it, and you'll still be able to read it, because, and like, it's not going to mess it all up. You'll still be able to see the pictures, because most people are going in their handwriting, the other, like the actual messaging, the note, the love letter, whatever, they're handwriting that. But like your beautiful picture, it's just going to be, wash the water, like way down came the rain. It's gonna be washing like they washed the spider out. It's gonna be washed out and gone away. Pigment ink printers don't do that. Laser printers don't do that. But with using a laser printer, the colors come out differently. It's not gonna. You have to adjust the transparency more if you're going to use a laser printer, and you really want that like watercolor look because of how laser toner goes down. There's, speaking of which, also I will get to designing, but this is a sidebar. There is no specific transparency number. Like, oh, because I have you asked, well, what do I take my transparency down to? How much of the image do you want to be visible? How light do you want it? How dark do you want it? There are some people that will make their image a little bit darker because they're not planning to write over the image. They're going to write all the way around it. So they want that to not be like full strength, but they also don't want it to be completely washed out. That is up to you. You have creative control over how vibrant that artwork is. There is no right or wrong. If you are okay with it and you are able to see what you are writing, if you are someone that's selling these, there is no right or wrong unless your client says this is too dark. You cannot get mad at the client. If you go, you make it, and they're like, yo, this is too dark. Like, you're not, it's going to compete with me writing. I'm writing with black ink. And if they want you to reprint it, you need to do your due diligence and try different transparencies, especially if you're doing a full design on the paper at different transparencies and seeing how it comes out, and maybe ask your customers, like, have something that shows it. Which transparency do you prefer? Do you want it to be lighter? Do you want it to be darker? That's a whole nother bonus. That's me getting into the business side. Okay. People pay me good money for business tips. You should go ahead and enroll in our creative business program to get tips like that on the regular, but printing it out, different transparency, so they can see it and they can make a decision on it, because they're well within. Just because you like it at that strength doesn't mean that they will. And if you didn't tell them exactly what percentage you were dropping that down, if they get it and say that this is too dark for my liking, friend, you need to reprint the people's stuff. It's just paper. It's paper, but you need to reprint the people's stuff. Okay. I know you don't like it. I'm not reprinting nothing. They gonna pay me, and then you ain't giving people no disclaimer. You ain't tell them reprinting people's stuff. I know you don't like to hear it, but reprinting people's stuff on your dime. Okay, it's on the cost. Y'all don't want saying, oh, I'm making all this money. It'll take me 3 seconds. It take me 5 minutes. Take that 5 minutes and that little 10 cent, 5 cent sheet of paper, reprinting people's stuff. Okay. All right. That threw me off because I wasn't supposed to talk about that. Okay, wait. So, am I ready to go into design? I think that was all of like the prerequisite things before we go into designing. Is this good information for you so far? If you learned something new, put one in the chat. All right, so I do see a few questions. See a question here and on that side. If printing to a non-coated paper, look for a paper that is. So I'm not sure what the question is, because I mean, if it's non-coated, it's non-coated. So I'm not quite sure what you're asking. If you can clarify that for me, because I'm not really sure exactly what you're trying to kind of get at with that one. Thank you for the one. Okay, thank you. Do you prefer the Canon over the Epson printer pigment ink? I like any pigment ink printer, to be honest. So my Epson, I can't compare the two, because my Epson is a wide format printer. It's a cartridge-based printer. Now, not having to worry about filling the cartridges. I mean, but this is only 8.5 by 11. The colors are different because the Epson one is a heat-free print head. So it's a different type of print head than the Canons. So I can't say I like one over the other. For my smaller projects, my Canon works better. It prints a whole lot faster than my Epson, but I use that one for larger projects, and colors are slightly different. So if I really, really want like a certain tone, I may need to use my Epson. I'm a print hoarder. I got a lot of printers. So none of them, I don't have a printer that's my favorite, because I got a lot of printers and they all serve different purposes. Like I have 2 Canons that are not pigment. So this is not my only Canon printer. I have 2 more Canon tank printers that are dye-based inks that I can use to print on photo paper. And I don't have to worry about, anything when it comes to like them running, because the photo paper is coated. So yeah, I don't have a favorite. Thank you for the one. Okay, so you said I answered it for you. All right, cool beans. Any other questions before we go into design things? Any other questions? Okay, now it's hot. There's some folk on Facebook gonna be mad they missed this video. They missed this live class. All right, so no questions. Okay, design-wise, if you are printing to loose leaf paper, this is not the same as copy paper. This is only 8 by 10 and a half. 8 by 10 and a half. So if you set your design page up to 8.5 by 11 and you put this in there, your design is going to be cut off if you went to the edge, because this is not the same size as this. There's extra here. There's extra on the bottom. That was a recent issue that I just had to, talk someone off the ledge. Like, why is it, because here's the thing too, guys. I'm doing this where it's the full length one. It's long. It's not going to be 2 seconds long. I know some people prefer. I can't provide all of this information in like a 2 second. Yeah, this is technically still longer because we talked about some other things. I'm going to have to like pause and stuff like that. But I can't give you all the sauce in a 10-second video where I was literally just printing it out. Oh, by the way, that video is sped up. That printer don't print. I mean, it print fast, but it don't print that fast. Okay. That was sped up times 2. But I can't give like all the information. So when I made the video and I was like, you can just print on regular paper, because everybody is teaching it for copy paper or cardstock or whoever, whatever. Of course, what they say put in there, 8.5 by 11. So those who wanted to print on just the regular loose leaf, they were putting in 8.5 by 11, but then their design was getting cut off significantly. Well, it's because they're not the same. They didn't take the time to measure this. So I know my particular paper is 8 by 8 by 10.5. So this is why on this side it is like a 1/2 inch there, and then no, I'm sorry, it's a 1/2 inch, and then it's supposed to be a 1/2 inch too. Let me see. Maybe it's not. I know it's more on this side than it is at the bottom. I know that much. But yeah, it's a different size. So measure your paper or look at your the packing to see what you need to make your design page. It doesn't matter if you're using Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, Canva, Affinity, Cricut. You won't be able to do this. This is not a project for Cricut design space users. Unless you are doing little note cards, this is not a project for Cricut design space users. Let me say this one more time. This is not a project for Cricut design space users. You need to explore other programs that will allow you to print without registration marks and be able to print a full page, minus the margins, but print a full page. Okay. But make sure that you are measuring your paper that you are going to print to, so that you can go ahead and, not be surprised once it prints out. Okay. Yeah. So now we're ready to go into designing. Is HP printers good? I personally, again, you can use any printer that you have. It's not a special printer. You can literally use it. I'm not an HP girl. I don't care for HP printers, but that's a personal preference for me. But if that's what you have, you can literally print with any printer, whether it is dye ink, pigment ink, if it's a laser printer. Now, what you cannot use is sublimation, because that requires you to heat press it to get the full color and press it onto something that's going to accept that ink. This is not a sublimation project. This is a project for standard printers. It was some people that were like going to like the whole Walgreens and like don't print this on no photo paper. Okay. Now they offer regular prints. They have like a regular copy machine. Do that, but don't print this on no photo paper. Don't do it. All right. You can go to Office Depot, you can go to Staples, you can go to Kinko's, you can go to the UPS store, any of those places, and have them printed out with the laser printer, the toner printer, but not sublimation. All right. Okay. Now we're ready to get into designing. You can, like I said, you can do this with anything, guys. It's not anything specific that you have to, like certain type of images. If it's watercolor, if it's already something that's a PNG, put it on the page. If it is something that already has a white background, this was another thing, do you need to have a background, remover? White doesn't print. So if you happen to get a JPEG, some type of graphics, and there was a white border around it, like, white, not border, background to it, you can still use it. Now, you would have to make sure that the lines are to the front, because on your design page, if that part is white, then it's going to cover up the lines, which, I'll show that, but it's going to cover up those lines. So you'd have to move that to the back, but white doesn't print. So you don't have to have a background remover for that. Just make sure it's to the back. If your image has a full-on background, you will need to remove that if you don't want to see a box, or if you're not going to go edge to edge with that image and drop the opacity on it, or transparency, whichever way you like to say it. You need to remove the background. This is where you would need something like Canva Pro, Photoshop, Photopea, Affinity, what does it have it? Like programs like that allow you to remove the background. There is a site, Remove BG. If you do not pay for it, you will get a not so great version. I'm not sure why people keep saying, oh, use Remove BG, is free. That free picture is crap. Okay? Especially the image you starting, the image you are starting with is not that great. It is crap using the free version of Remove BG. But anything that's a background remover, you were able to use that. Now, you probably can't control how much it removes it, like from certain programs. You're not going to be able to control that. Canva does have an option where you can go back in and restore, but you got to be very, very careful. If you're using your finger, we got fat fingers, it's going to be too much, going back and forth. It can be frustrating. If you got a stylus, Apple Pencil, works out a little bit better, okay? It won't be smooth. It'll definitely be a solid line and be kind of chunky, but you can still restore areas that it pulled away too much, okay? So background remover is something that you need to look into, unless you are going to just fill the whole page. Or what you can do, if you don't want to do the background remover in Canva, and you have Canva Pro, just free version of Canva, the frame for the Polaroids, and it's like a frame picture, those are free. You can just take that and put your design in that, and then just put it off to the side. You do not, I repeat, to do this project, you do not have to have an image where it has a transparent background. This is where you unlock your creativity, you explore other options, put it in a circle, put it in a star frame, put it in different things where it's there, but it doesn't look like a box. It makes it look like it was meant to be that way. If you are someone that doesn't naturally think outside the box like that, you know where you need to be at? In our creative design lounge. Yep. You need to go ahead and go into the description and click on that, sign up. If you want to just try it out for 1 month, $36.50, try it out for 1 month, no obligation. We won't take any money out after that 31 days. Hey, you just do it for a month, and you have access to all of the other trainings that were in there. You have access to it. So definitely, consider trying it out for a month. If you like it, then go ahead and do a subscription. You will have to pay $43.65 for the first month of your subscription. But after that, it goes down to $25.63. So unlike others where they kind of start you low and then go up, we start you a little bit higher, and then your payment drops. And then it's only $25.63 if it's on automatic debit. So definitely check out the Creative Lounge. The link for that is in the chat. All right. Oh, as soon as you see me it's late. So I don't know how long y'all stay up, but I meant to call y'all about next week. I gotta talk. So if I don't do it tonight, if I stay on too late, I'm calling you first thing, okay? I'm calling you first thing tomorrow. All right. Well, I'll check and make sure you're not on live first, but I'm calling you tomorrow about next week. Okay. But hey, incredible greetings. But yeah, you don't have to remove the background. That's a very, very big thing. Like some people were kind of posting in groups like, oh, what am I missing? What am I, oh, remove the background, do that. Put that thing in a frame. Okay. Put it in a frame. Put it in a box. If you don't want to put a border around it. Put it to the side. It's also okay to let things hang off the side of the paper and make that an intentional part of the design. I promise you, it is going to be okay. All right. If this paper is for writing, don't flood the whole page. Like I'm a little confused. I'm a little perturbed. I'm just not understanding where it's for a letter. Yet we have a whole lot of going on this paper. Where you supposed to write at, homie? I don't know. Maybe it's just me because my eyes are bad, right? I was supposed to wear glasses. I have astigmatism. Things look blurry all the time. So maybe it's just me. But I'm trying to figure out how y'all writing on this paper with all the distraction, all that stuff in the background. Like, and then when somebody reads it, how they supposed to read through? This is not meant to like flood the page, people, for like these letters. Even when y'all are journaling, I still don't understand why y'all got all the extra on the page for journaling, maybe around the border, but like where you're writing at, that don't mess with your focus, because it mess with mine. Maybe it's just me. Obviously it's just me, and I'm talking to myself because y'all aren't commenting and letting me know like if you have an issue as well. So it must be just me, because I'm on this live by myself anyway. I've established that I'm on the live by myself. But like I said, you don't have to flood the whole page. All right. I think that's all of our prerequisites. And now we go into design. So should we start with Silhouette Studio or Canva? Where should we start? Silhouette Studio or Canva? Silhouette Studio or Canva? Silhouette Studio or Canva? I'm waiting to see answers so I'll know where to start. Majority wins. I see one over here for Silhouette. Okay, Jackie says Silhouette. Oh, Jackie, you still here, girl? Gray's not. What time Gray's not? I thought come on at 10. Come on, 10 or 11. Girl, why are you still here? You watching me in between commercials? Okay, so Silhouette. There's one for Canva. There's two for Canva. Okay, so we're going to start in Silhouette Studio because the majority of the responses have been Silhouette Studio. And it's y'all probably sick of the Canva ones. It's a lot of people doing Canva. All right. So let's go ahead and share our screen. All right. You know what? Hold on. Didn't they mm, I don't know why I thought that there was a cancel. Hold on. I don't know why I thought that here had one where I can not have my picture in the corner be a square. I thought like it was one to make it round, but maybe not. Okay. All right, so we're on Select Studio. If you don't know how to start a new page, here's where we're going to do that. So we're at an hour and 14 minutes, and this is where we're going to start the design part of it. So once you open it up, whatever the last thing you designed is probably going to default here. And that is okay because you can easily change it. You're not going to open up a new window. You can easily change it in Silhouette Studio. You're going to come to the icon here. I'm using version 4.5. If you're using version 5, it is going to look a little bit different. However, all of the steps are going to be the exact same because the only difference in 4.5 is it's a cosmetic change. Everything still works the same, has the same names. The icons look very similar. So it's the very first icon is your page setup. This is not something you're going to use print and cut for. So you can have your machine set to none. You don't even have to own a machine. You want to be able to do this. You don't want to deal with Canva, anything like that. Like you also don't want to have to like do it in Canva, save it, still bring it over here. If you're going to bring it over to Silhouette Studio to print, you do not have to have a machine. I repeat, you do not have to have a machine in order to use Silhouette Studio. You do have to have a computer though. It is not a web app. I mean, it's not a mobile app. There's a web-based version, but that version is not that great. This is a computer-based software. So you will need a Windows or Apple computer, iOS computer. Okay. But you're just going to set your machine to none, which means your cutting mat will be none. And then you can bypass media size and just type in the size that you need it to be. So if you are going to put it on loose leaf paper, you're going to go ahead and you're going to make this 8 by 10.5. Boom. There we go. If you have your show print border on and you print it to like this size, like 8.5 by 11, it'll kind of tell you where your borders are for you to avoid the margin, but I still recommend kind of having your safe zone. Now, I'm not going to go over safe zones in this because it'll make it way too long, but I did pre-record a video on this that will go, it'll upload tomorrow in the Creative Design Lounge. Because I have to send out the emails like and all that stuff, but it will go up. So I did do a more extended pre-recorded video for those who are in the Creative Design Lounge or Creative Lounge. It's still, the thumbnail still says Creative Lounge right now, okay? But you're going to change your paper width. So if you're doing 8.5 by 11, 8.5, tab, 11, enter, make it 8.5 by 11. Whatever size paper you are going to print to is what those values need to be, whatever your paper. If you are someone in a region where you're using like the A3, A4, A2, blah, 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 select. Now that's when you want to use the media size to select A4, A3, A5, A6, like all those different things. But if it's just in inches, just type it out. If you're in a region where you use millimeters, centimeters, you actually can change that unit of measurement and then put it in whatever setting without having to convert, okay? Once you are here, if you want to make your own lines, I'm gonna walk you through how to do that. But y'all know that thing that y'all love to use right now, ChatGPT, or you might be a Gemini, user. You can use AI. You can go ahead and generate an image of line paper. You can make it whatever color you want. So if you want the color scheme to be purple, teal, and pink, go ahead, make it, do that. If you want it to be yellow, green, and brown, do that. You want it to just be yellow and brown, do that. Whatever color scheme you want it to be. If you want it to be ombre, pink, blue, or whatever, lighter color at the top, darker color at the bottom, and you just want it to ombre out, vice up, down, side, do that. You can literally make any type of line paper in any of these AI generators and then bring it into Silhouette Studio. Now, I'm not going to show that. Again, it's in the other video, but you can bring that image in and then just fill the page and then start to design around it. Okay. The only thing would be if you don't have a background remover. Remember how I talked about earlier that you can just put it to the back Well, that will normally come in as a JPEG, which means the background is going to be solid. You're going to put your image on top. You can't put your image behind it because you won't see it. If you drop your transparency, well, guess what? Now your lines are lighter. So that only works if if you're going to put your images on top and it's like remove like that, stuff like that. Like these are the things that I like to really dive into in an actual live class in Creative Design Lounge or any design classes. Like this is the best part of the Zooms. It's all of that, like that information that, well, dang, I didn't think about that type stuff. I give that in classes because there's 1,000,001. Let's be real. There's 1,000,001 tutorials, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook about this whole thing. But it's those little things that we dive into in my live class. I can't speak for anybody else, but my live Zooms is where you get all of the those aha moments. That's what you get in our paid classes. Okay. So if you want to make your own lines, so you're not going to use AI. This is not Canva where you can just go and click on an element. You can make your own. I personally prefer thin rectangles over lines. Okay. So if you go over here, so on this side, you'll see the rectangle. It's the first one. The first one, when you click, hover over it, and it's going to be a small rectangle. You're just going to go hold down shift. Go all the way across. Don't hold down shift. Just go straight across. Because if you hold down shift, it's going to make it bigger. It's going to make it like a square. So you just want to go all the way, you want to go all the way across. Okay. Don't worry about it going. You just want to worry about the thickness of that line. Now, there's really no way to know until you print it out how thick it is. You may have to go in and make it just a little bit thinner, which is why I do kind of like the rectangles over the lines. Like there are specific reasons why. Again, not going to get too detailed into that. Once you have it, the thickness that you want. So I'm going to take off my line, my center of rotation. So I'll probably make this just a little bit bigger. You want to fill it in with color. It doesn't matter what color it is. I'm just going to stick with black for now. Okay. Ow, my knee hurts. That was a bad position for me to be in for my knee. Okay. And then you want to shrink it. Well, I like to turn the line color off so I can see it fully. And then you can make this whatever size you want. You're going to come to this icon right here. It's like 3 rectangles and a line through it. That's your transform panel. The second icon is scale. This is where you would manually change the size at. You are going to make sure that the lock is open. And then for the width, whatever your design page was, that's the size you're going to make it. So if it was just 8, you make it 8. If it was 4, you make it 4. If it's 7, you make whatever it is. So we're going to go ahead and with that width, we're going to make this 8.5 because that is the size that, paper that I'm using. We're not changing the height, which is why we opened up the lock, and that way it stays that thickness. Pro tip, one of the things that I would recommend if you're not quite sure, because looks can be deceiving on your screen. Once you make that one line or maybe do a couple different lines at different thicknesses, print those out. And whichever one you like, that is the one that you use. So that's a little pro tip for you, okay? And then we're going to stay right here in this same window. We're going to go over to alignment and just hit align to the left. That way it pushes it all the way to the edge. It's going edge to edge. All right. The great thing about Silhouette Studio, now you can go and just hit Control C to copy it. You can right click and hit duplicate and then have to keep going in and duplicate. You can definitely do that, right? But Silhouette Studio has this amazing little option. So if you go to replicate, which looks like a little bug, it's right under the transform. All right. There is an option that says fill the page. Now, with this being so thin, fill the page might not be the best. So, and yeah, see, it rotated. I hate when it does that sometimes, but it, how it did it wasn't that bad. We can always quickly rotate this. Just go up here and we're just going to rotate it back 90 degrees. But that puts those lines where they are really, really, really close together, right? But it made sure they were all lined up. And if we're like, I don't really like that, and we also didn't fill the page, we're going to click on the last one. And then with that same transform panel, I'm going to tell it to go to the bottom. And then I'm just going to pull it up some, okay? We're going to select everything. And in the same trend, we haven't left the transform panel. We're going to align it or space it vertically. And it'll do it for you. That's too many lines. Just go in here. Don't touch the top. Don't touch the bottom. Just select a chunk of them and take them out. Select it all again and space vertically. Still too big? Take another chunk out. Take a big chunk out. Select it. Space it. Silhouette Studio makes it so easy to be able to select these and then kind of figure out the size, like the spacing that you want. You like this? Okay, let's go ahead, group it, duplicate it, and I'm going to put this all to the side because I kind of like that one. But maybe I want to explore different sizes. We're going to go ahead, ungroup, and I can either, again, take another chunk out and respace it. So now I have thicker lines. If I'm like, ooh, I mean to do it that way, guess what? We're going to take two of these, hit align to the left. Oh, wait, hold on. We have to do one at a time. So align to the left, select them. As long as you don't change that top one and that bottom one, you can keep adding lines to the middle and just space vertically. And now you can duplicate this and have different widths for paper, okay? You still can go to like your replicate tool and then just go duplicate below. They're going to look really, really close together. But again, select it all, space it. Boom. There we go. All right. I've been trying to follow along, but not able to get the line to come out. If you're using the line tool, I did not use the line tool. I used the rectangle. So that might be where the issue is. This isn't like the class where I'm kind of like waiting and going back and going through those things. If you can let me know like which one you use, I can always go back. But you can watch the playback of this. The tutorial part started about like an hour and 14 minutes in, okay? So we're just going to select, if you wanted more space for like your title, your heading, go up here and delete a line. So now your first line will start a little bit lower. We're going to select that and we can group it together. And once you move it, if you click on it and then just go right here, center to page, or right here, center to page, boom, it just goes right into place. You don't have to realign or redo anything. It's just going to snap into place, okay? And yeah, it is a little bit harder for me to really help you guys when I'm on here. Now, if you're in a class, you join Design Lounge, you come to the pro call, like the open question session, you come to the study halls. This is where you can share your screen. I can see exactly what it is that you did and be able to help and guide you off of what you're doing. But like here now, all I'm gonna do is just show making a rectangle. I don't know where where it went off for you. And if it's not going, then scrap that, delete whatever you have, go back to the rectangle and try drawing it again. Yeah, that's something I can say. Or you can always like go here and just make a box and then use your scale and you're going to tell it like it's unlocked 8.5 and then you'll make your height really small, 0.1 and boom, there we go. So it'll make the line. So you have a lot of options with Silhouette Studio. Okay. And because everything can live on the screen, you're not on Canva where you go to something and then you click on something else and now that disappears. And now you got to go back to position, go here to do all those things. I love Silhouette because everything can live and stay on the screen and you can move seamlessly through all of the different tools and options. Okay. And remember, Silhouette Studio is free. Oh, I forgot, if you want a line going down the side, you're just going to either duplicate one of the ones that are there, or you'll make your own line. If you want it to be thinner, you'll make your height 11. And then I'm just going to align it to the bottom because of where mine is positioned at. And you can make that whatever color you want it to be. Okay. And then you can move it wherever you want it. Hold on. My son wants to give me a hug. Hold on. All right. So the little ones had to come in and say goodnight. All right. So there's that. This is your page. You want to change the colors. You can easily go in, change them to whatever colors you want, move things around. You want to save this. That way you don't have to redo it every single time. You also can save this and flatten it if you wanted to. So save it as a JPEG, save it as a PNG, with a transparent background, and that way it becomes an image and you just bring that in. You just won't be able to adjust any of the colors. So that's that. Easy enough, right? And it's going to be literally the same thing in every single program. Every single program. Now you're going to bring in your elements, your images. Like I said, the one thing that you will not have access to would be a background remover in Silhouette Studio. Now, if it is something that has a white background, you can easily trace and detach and be able to have that image without a background to it. But if it is like a very detailed like type background, you will have to use a background remover. So if I bring this one in, so this is already a PNG, so I don't want to, let me see, let's do this one. Actually, I think all of these, these are all, the backgrounds were removed on all of these, so these are all transparent backgrounds. So all right. Okay, they're transparent as well. I'm trying to find an image that I have where it's not a PNG. I think Abby, she's a PNG. Dang, all these are PNGs. Okay, so here's one that is not a PNG. Let me see, is this one? Because, okay, that one might be easier to trace than this one. All right, so, oh, wait, this doesn't have a white, though. So we're going to bring this one back in. Oh, wait, this don't have a background. I thought that had a white background. Which one had the, okay, here we go. So this one has a white background. So because it has a white background, you can use trace. That's the little butterfly looking thing. You click on that, select trace area, place our box around it. You'll increase your threshold. And then go trace and detach. Now, this got a lot of little open areas, so it might take a little bit longer. Let's see. But we'll go trace and detach because it's a lot of stuff it has to filter through. Oh, it didn't take that long. Great. Now, the middle part is not going to come out, but that's okay. I just want the main part to be gone, okay? And we can always pull that middle, like those middle sections out. That's a We have a video that's called Remove Inner Parts, Remove White. I recommend that you watch that to learn the technique for that, because we're already an hour and a half in. And we're going to group this together and right click, bring to front, because we don't know if it's to the back, to the front. So we just want to bring it to the front, and you place it wherever you want it to go. Remember about your safe zone. So now, safe zones. You would do that with your offset. You would need to make a box the size of your paper and then do an internal offset to have like an exact safe zone. But I'm going to just kind of eyeball it here and just make sure I'm far away from the print border, because I can't see my print border. Like right now, Corinthians is right on the print border. So that means this design would need to go up. I would probably put it like on that line right there. And then we can take our transparency down. In Silhouette Studio, your transparency is it's here under the paint palette. Even though this is an image, it's not a solid color, the transparency will still control the transparency of this image. You don't have to go to like patterns or whatever. You're just going to take that down and you will reduce the transparency, and you make that to your liking. If you want it to be full strength, it can be at full strength. There is no right or wrong for that, guys. I promise you it's not. Okay. So you're just going to place that wherever you want it at. If you want other elements, if you want to add shapes and things of that nature. So y'all know my go-to is a star. I love a good star. Okay. Fill it with, I don't recommend using these colors. Use color charts. You'll fill it in. You can drop the transparency on that. I'm going to convert it to a path. You can duplicate it. Lines don't print as long as it's 0 right here. So if you see the red line, it's okay. You don't have to make the line green or whatever color. Either just leave it as is or go to the line color and turn it off, which is this first box. The very, very top, it says standard. That just means no color. So you can do that. I don't recommend trying to make your outline the color of like whatever it is, the fill color is. All right. So you'll just move that around, whatever you want. And then if you want text on it, the A on this side is how you start text. The A on this side is how you alter that text. Give it a different font, the sizing of it, the spacing of it, all of that is under the controls on the right hand side. Now I'm 1 hour and 30 minutes in, because we were having some fun in the beginning. I know it may seem like I'm going fast, especially if you're watching the playback of this. I don't want you to turn away from this and feel like, oh, I'm not going to be able to follow this. In our classes, I do go much slower, and I give you all the opportunities in the world to ask questions, to say, go back. Now, in this setting, it's free unless y'all want to go ahead and drop a little something in the Cash App, HSINK365. It'd be greatly appreciated. Or you want to drop a super chat, although I prefer the Cash Apps. This is a free session, so I'm trying to get in as much as possible without being here all night long. But like in the class, it's slowed down a whole lot more. And when we do live sessions, you are able to say, hey, can we go back to this? You're able to share your screen. So it is a different experience when you are in our actual live classes. Okay. If you are not familiar with Silhouette Studio, this can seem very intimidating and very overwhelming, even though this is a simplified project and something that's easy to do. When you don't know the design software, it seems very, very, very complicated and trying to figure out all of the tools. And I get it and I understand it, which is why we leave these up. You're able to pause it, take notes on it, leave a question. I try my best to go back in and answer your questions. If you combine your comment with a timestamp, even better, because then I'll know exactly where you had some struggles at. Join our Facebook group. You can always ask questions there. The more information you provide, the better, because then it helps me, be able to answer your question effectively. All right. But to start your text, A on this side, click on the screen. And then you want to start typing. So be creative I had to look, so I can't see. So, and then we're going to increase the size of this. How you do that is grab a corner node. Do not grab, even with your pictures, do not grab from these side ones. You are going to distort it. Oh, wait, y'all can't see that. Let me add some color. You are going to distort it. If you push it up like this, you are distorting the characters. You won't fully see it. Try your very best. Now, shapes and things are a little bit different, but text, images, if you're wanting it to stay like the original text, like how it was designed, pull from any of the 4 corner nodes to increase the size. And then, of course, you can move it around as needed. Now, I didn't give this, so we'll just go ahead, ungroup, hold down Shift, click on these top 2 to deselect them, and then group these back together, delete and delete. All right. And you can center it. So because it's not attached to anything else, just hit the center button and it'll center it to the page. Okay. And then the A on this side allows you to change this font to whatever font you have loaded on your computer. Now, Canva is very alluring for most, especially beginner designers, because it's so many fonts available for you right in Canva. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to install anything. They have a plethora of fonts, really cool fonts and like standard fonts, script fonts, fun fonts and thick fonts, grunge fonts. They have a whole lot in Canva. But if you're using a design program, Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, well, Photoshop kind of has some of their stuff built in, but ain't that great. Cricut Design Space, some of you guys are used to the fonts that are native to Cricut, and that's why some people do like Cricut, because they do have fonts that are native. Silhouette don't give you no fonts, boo. It don't come with nothing. Now, if it ain't on your computer, it's not gonna work, okay? There are no special Silhouette type fonts. It feeds off of what's on your computer, okay? Creative Fabrica, great. I mean, awesome. They have tons and tons. Oh, I forgot to put that in the description. I'll add that. If you don't have a Creative Fabrica account, you don't have to have a subscription. Hear me and hear me well. You do not have to have a subscription, okay? But you definitely need an account. Go get you an account on Creative Fabrica. Creative Fabrica, however you want to say it. Because the freebies, they be freebieing, okay? The freebies be freebieing. They have a lot of resources that are available for free $99. A lot of free fonts. This is multiple 5,588 free. Don't have to pay a dime, but still go through my link, because I do get a little credit. Even if you get a free font, go through my link. Appreciate you. Go through my link when you're getting that, because I do get a little something for referring it. But it's a lot of stuff here. And I have videos on how to install it, how to download it, how to extract it, how to load it onto your computer. And you can use these fonts in Canva as well. We actually just released a video showing how to add your own fonts to Canva. So if you've ever had a font that you got like from here, one of your favorite fonts, but you want to use it in your Canva designs, you can upload that font to your Canva account. Go check out that video, okay? But so many fonts here. So fonts should not be one of your concerns. There's options for fonts. And you can always use like defont.com, all those different things, okay? But it has to be a font on your computer. And you're just going to go through this and you're going to find a font that you want to use. And, I'm definitely not going to go through trying to make this like an actual design. We're just going to pick, something here. And you can size it, make it bigger, make it smaller. You can turn it, you can stretch, you can skew it, you can it's a whole lot that you can do from the free version. I have not done anything to create this design that requires you to have the upgraded version of Silhouette Studio. So if you're not looking to get Designer Plus, or Business, you do not have to. I have not used any advanced features to put any of this together, even when it came to the tracing. Okay. So you're going to click on it. I don't know what happened to it. You can change the font. You can make it different. I don't ever recommend using the pre-made gradients, but if you got your own gradient, you can use that. You can adjust the gradient by coming over here to the patterns and scaling it. Once you make it into a compound path, it fills in a different way. Like, we can get wild with it, okay? We can definitely go. There's so many ways to design. Like, it will take me a lifetime to share with you all of the different design techniques there are, okay? So you can go ahead, you can fill it in with the pattern. Scale that pattern up. You can't do this in Canva. You can't just drop a pattern into letters. You got to go to them frames. You got to arrange them. You got to size them. You got to do this. So go ahead, drop a pattern in it. Well, you can do gradients in text, but you can't do this in Canva. This is why it's good to know other softwares. Okay. So you're going to go ahead, put that on there. Now that's a little, you may not be able to see it. All right. I'm just going to go back to a standard color. So you're going to place that on there, and then you're ready to print. You are ready to print at that point. I'm going to just add these here. I did not have to do anything to this. If it's a PNG, you don't have to trace and detach. You're not cutting anything. Nothing's going to get cut off. Is the box going to go outside of your paper? Absolutely. And it is okay. You do not have to trace and detach because you're just going to print. All right. So we're going to place this here. We're going to increase the size of it. And it doesn't matter if we go to the bottom, it's not going to flow off the edge. You can put it, if you want to make sure it doesn't get cut off, if there was something important there, you can bring it up, put it in your safe zone, but you're going to just place it. All right. And if you want to take your transparency down, just come over to the color palette, and any of the transparencies, whether it's on the color, the gradient, or the pattern, you're just going to drop that to your desired level. And then you're going to print. So you're going to hit the print button up here. Ignore this box. It's a pop-up if you have Windows 11. It's not an issue. You won't see this particular box if you have a Mac or any version other than Windows 11. And you're going to pick your printer. You're going to do your settings, and you're going to print it out. Done. Any questions for Silhouette? Thank you so much for the super chat. Woohoo! Appreciate it. She says, Creative Fabrica is great. Did you get the box? Did you try it again? Were you able to get it to come on out like this? Now, if you release it, you're not going to be able to just pull it out once you release. So I'm not sure if that's what your issue was. Like, you released it and then you wanted to adjust it. Then you're going to have to use the, what's that thing called? The scale. It's not like Canva. So when you go to Canva, you'll see that you can still pick up a shape and like resize. I think you can do that in Cricut as well. But here you cannot because of how the controls are. You can't just pick it up and like still like resize it. This is where you would have to use those corner nodes or those top and bottom ones and not just the side ones. So you would have to use those once you release it. So I'm not sure, maybe that was your issue. Okay. But that's all you got to do. No matter what the picture is. Now, if it does have background, like I said, you have to figure out which background remover you want to use, and then you're going to bring that in. To bring in, like if you started already designing, to bring in that image, I don't think I really highlight or I really said where I went to before. you're going to go File, Merge. You're not going to go Open. You're not going to go New. You're going to go File, Merge, Merge. And that will allow you to bring in another image, okay? And it'll be on the same page. You just have to resize it. And you can do this, and you can bring in a JPEG, a PNG, an SVG, another silhouette file. It doesn't matter. It's going to merge those files into what you're already working on. And if you have multiple designs set up, you just move this one, grab the next one, put it on there, print it out, grab the next one, put it on there, print it out. Okay. That's Silhouette Studio. Now we're going to go over to Canva. Okay, wait, I got way too many windows open. Hold on. I want to say it's this one. Oh, Canva's not on this one, but I'll just open up a new one. So we're going to go here. We're going to go Canva. So with Canva, same thing. You have to establish what the page size is going to be. You are going to do that by going to custom size. Now, if you're going to do just regular 8.5 by 11, there are a lot of like there's already preset options. So if you go to print, you are going to choose something that just says portrait. Like you're really looking at the size at the bottom. So flyer portrait is still 8.5 by 11. Resume portrait still 8.5 by 11. Worksheet portrait still 8.5 by 11. So you can choose any of those and they will be 8.5 by 11. You can also go into the templates and look for notebook pages and look for ones that are free if you don't have Pro. Okay. So if you go, like when you're here, when you go to templates, which is the middle, it says your design, templates, and then Canva AI. You can have Canva AI create your line paper for you. Okay. So we're going to go to templates and we're just going to go notebook paper, or you can put letter paper, and see all of these have crowns on them, which means they are Pro. And it's probably not even just because of the lines. They may have elements in it that are Pro elements, so you wouldn't be able to use it. Like this one right here, it looks like loose leaf paper. It has no crown. It's free. Anyone can use this. This one that says notes, it has nothing on it. Now, it may not be the size that you want, and then you'd have to try and resize it. Now, resizing is a Pro feature. There is a way around it, but we don't have time for that today, to how you can adjust it if you have the free version. We did go over that in Canva, Understanding Canva 101. And Canva 101 is a part of the Creative Lounge membership. So you don't have to buy that class separately. It's included in that membership, okay? But all of these are free. Like there's a lot of free options. You may just have to tweak some things as far as the design page size. So I'm going to just go back over here and I'll just go back home. And then I'll just go to print and just choose one of these. So this is now 8.5 by 11. If I wanted to do for the loose leaf paper, I'm going to go custom size, change our unit of measurement to inches, and then 8 tab 10.5, create new design. So now this one is 8 by 10.5, which is the loose leaf paper. And this is the design. Oh, let me go back real quick. If you're printing to loose leaf paper, you don't need any of this. All you need is your design page. Put this where you want it and print it out. That's it. So if you're going to use regular school supply paper, loose leaf paper, place your images, place your designs wherever you want it to go, and just hit print. That's it. Okay. All right. So if you learned something else, put a 2 in the chat. So if you've learned something new, we did the one before, put a 2 in the chat. If you've learned some things, if you are so inclined to, let me know what was the new thing that you learned. Okay. All right. So we're going to come here. We want to exit out. This is if you're going to print through a Canva dropship vendor. You don't need that. All right. So over here, once you can go over to elements or you can go to designs. If you go to designs and you type in note pages, notebook paper, notes, things of that nature, it's going to give you a lot of options. Some will have a crown, some will not. Remember, we saw this one. It will come in the wrong size. I'm going to click on it. I can then, it's already has the lines for me. You can change the colors of them. So I'm just going to select, oops, wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to drag. Hello. Okay. It wouldn't let me come from all the way out here. I got to put my mouse inside. I'm going to drag and select. We're going to group this together. And then we're just going to resize it. Now, certain things in Canva, when you resize it, it also makes the lines thicker. You can't just like stretch certain things out. So be mindful of things like that. But you're just going to stretch it out. Then you need to ungroup. It doesn't like, so you saw how I was able to hold down shift and like deselect. Actually, no, so this one did do it. So hold down shift, deselect. I'm going to group this together and then click on this one. And you cannot click on the top edge. So this is one of those things where when you take classes like mine, I like to show you the things that you cannot do or you're not supposed to do, not just the things that you can do. Okay. So if you grab up here, it's going to move it at an angle. It's not just going to move it over. You have to make sure that it's like clicking the whole thing, but it's best to use this little icon right here to move that line. Because if you're like on it and it's like you're not catching it in the middle and you're closer to the top, it's going to start moving it like that. Okay. So be very, very careful with moving lines in Photoshop because that does get frustrating. But you can click and move it wherever it, you want it to go. It already has the text for you. Let's shrink this down. And the only thing I hate about shrinking it down is it can move. And you go up here, you change this to whatever font you want, change it through the A to whatever color you want. You go like see all, it's all these standardized colors. If you click on the add color, you can go to, any color you want, any hex code you want for those colors. Okay. So that's that. And then you would bring in your elements. So you can either upload, if you're on your phone, you go to gallery and it'll bring it in. Or if it's on your computer, you go upload files and you'll bring it in, or you can drag and select and bring it in like from your, so like, let's say if I go here, if I wanted to bring something in, you don't have to go through uploads. You literally can click, drag, and it will open up and it will automatically add it to your uploads. Okay. And you just put that wherever you want it to be. Resize it. This icon right here is your transparency. You're going to drop that and boom, it's ready to go. All right. It's ready to save at least. You cannot print directly from Canva. It has to go into a third party, like a different app, or you have to, like when you save it as like a PDF or JPEG, as long as it was saved to the exact size paper that you are going to print to, you can print like from the file. You're not printing from Canva, you're going to print from the file. But you've always been able to do that no matter what your file is. I can go to the file here, and where's that thing of D Wade? If I double click on him to open him up, there's going to be a print icon. So this is for anything. You can print directly from the image, print directly from the PDF. All right. Whether it's from Canva or just on your computer or on your phone. Right. So you place that there and bada boom, bada boom. If you have Pro, you are able to remove the background. All right. So we're going to hit background remover. It is going to remove the white of my headphones, but you can restore that and bring it back. Oh, it actually didn't remove, this time it didn't remove it. Normally it removes the whites from my headphones. But like my hair looks kind of crazy over here. If we click on background remover, it opens up the actual like settings and like the actual tool. And you go to restore, you make your brush size as big or as small as you want it. And then you can restore, but it makes it a harsher line. It won't give you the softness. If you choose erase, same thing. It's a little bit harder to get it to be smooth. So you may just want to like erase, but it is going to be a sharper line when you're doing that. You exit out, the background is removed, and you shrink it down. Place it where you want. I'm not sure why everybody's so obsessed with putting stuff to the bottom right. It can go on the left, it can go on the top, it can go in the middle, it can go wherever you want. Just know that the bigger it is, even with your transparency down, if the image itself had a lot of dark areas, my hair is dark, even with the transparency lowered, that area is going to be dark, and certain color pens may not show up in that area. Like that's just a given, you know. It's not going to show up because the image itself is dark, but you can make that as big or as small as you would like it. Do know that it's going to get cut off though. Okay. If some areas are like cut off and you want to fill it in, Canva has AI tools like Magic Expand, and it can expand it so that you don't have like this sharp cutoff. The thing that I recommended earlier, like if you go to elements and we go to, why didn't you just automatically populate for my frames, child? Okay, so we're just going to go photo frames, and then I'm just going to go to frames. I meant to put, what's the thing called? Polaroid. That's what I really meant to write. So you can see these are not pro elements. Anyone can use these. So you're just going to go ahead, grab that. I'm going to come back to uploads because I already moved the background. We're going to bring this, drag it into it, delete that. We can still drop the transparency on this. It's going to drop the transparency of the frame and the image. So you can see, I can see the lines through here. So as I drop that transparent, this is full strength. I'm going to go down. So even the Polaroid, like that frame, the opacity will lower. Okay. But we do want to kind of be able to see it. And then rotate it. Put it off to the side. This gives you another place to write like a little love note. So if you did it on a Polaroid, you can now use like text to leave like some type of note, and then it's like a note within a note. So that's how you would do that. All right. How to use a transparent for the picture? Go into your, I'm guessing you're asking silhouette. You just go to the color palette. So you can't use the one over here. The transparency does not show. You have to go to the color palette on this side, and transparency is right here. Just click on it and move it up and down. It doesn't matter if you're here, if you're in patterns, it's going to reduce the transparency no matter where you find transparency at. So that was for your question, CJ. Okay. So it's in the color palette right there. All right, so there's that. And then you're going to share it. So we click on share, you go to download, and you choose PNG, JPEG, PDF, like whichever one you want to use. I would choose either JPEG or PDF. If you want to use PDF print, you can do that also. They're going to print the same way, when it's all said and done. If you plan to take it somewhere to have it printed, just choose print. It converts it to CMYK, I believe. You can also still do PDF standard. It's going to still print great. And it'll save it in that size. So if you did something like the loose leaf paper size, and you're going to take it somewhere to print, make sure that they know to adjust their print settings so that it prints correctly. Because if theirs is defaulted for letter size paper, but you want it on something smaller, it is going to be off when it prints. It has to match your design page size and your print page size. They must match to not have any type of shifting. Okay. So you're just going to save that. I'm just going to choose JPEG because I don't remember. Yeah, I figured as much. My tax stuff was still up. And I don't want that to mistakenly open up if I select PDF. So we're just going to choose JPEG. And I'll just take my quality all the way up. And we're going to go download. And while that's downloading, I'm going to come over here. If you want to add other elements to this, you want to add balloons. So maybe you're sending a letter to someone and it's their birthday. You want to add balloons? Go for it. You want to add stars? Go for it. You can adjust the transparency on these as well. Okay. Great thing about this is you go here and then click. It's going to drop the transparency to the same value. And that was this little paint dropper, paint roller up here. So it's graphic for graphic, things of that nature. If you do, so I'll take this all the way up. So it's going to see how it made that so much darker. It turned it into black because this was black. So you don't want to do that on ones like this because it will change it. It doesn't affect, so the graphics won't affect the text. You have to click on that text and make it go to whatever transparency, and it's not going to see. The text doesn't affect the graphics. Graphic doesn't affect the text. Picture doesn't affect it either. So see, well, that just went away. So, and that went away. So actually, so the frame, you can use the text and you can use the copy style for frames, but not for graphics. All right. And once it downloads, for me, it comes up here, or you can go to your downloads folder. I'm just going to click on this. It's going to open up. And you would hit the print to go ahead and print it. So I would need this to be portrait. And it's going to still show on here as if it is going to print borderless. In your print preview, it will show like it's going to print borderless. If your printer does not print borderless, it's going to have a margin. Okay. Mine is to my 7720. So I technically can choose borderless printing. But if I was printing to that Canon, it does not print borderless with 8.5 by 11. It is still going to show in this print preview as if it is going to print all the way to the edge. Be ye not fooled. You will have a margin. Okay. All right. And then you just print. So you'll make it where it's 8.5 by 11, full page, no scaling, all that stuff, and just print. And you have your no page. Or you bring it into Silhouette Studio. So I'll go File, open. I'm going to go to downloads. Click on the download. It's going to open up. It might come in really, really big because of how the quality was. But as long as this is locked, change your height to 11. And okay, so my width went a little bit off. So we're just going to go 8.5. And even if it's off a little bit, center it to page and you're ready to print. Okay. Yes, be ye not fooled. It will still give you a margin. Okay. But see, like here, it will show you. So if I had the print preview on, so I never used the print preview in Select Studio, but I'm going to just turn it on now. If you go print, because it looks full. Oh, see, over here, around here, between Normandy and Weston, we call this here a little accuracy. Okay. Silhouette Studio gonna let you know, excuse me, hey, how you doing? I know on that design page, it looked like it was gonna go to the edge, but based on your print settings, boo-boo kitty, we gonna get cut off right here. If this ain't what you looking for, make sure you go in. If your printer can print borderless, you want to adjust your settings. But as of right now, based off of the printer that I have selected and what we got going on, this is where I'm going to cut off at. All right. If that ain't what you want, adjust your settings, change your printer. Canva, all them other ones, gonna have you fooled. It's gonna give you a false sense of hope of borderless printing. Silhouette Studio says, pump your brakes, homie. Pump your brakes. This ain't gonna give you borderless, okay? Unless we go, so I'm gonna go print. I'm going to pretend like, cancel that. Oh, that one's offline. Okay, let's go to, okay, this one says ready. We're gonna go to preferences. I'm gonna go borderless. And when you go borderless, you can't do print. Okay, so here's another thing too, right? About borderless. You cannot use plain paper setting for borderless. It is going to force you to go into one of those premium settings, premium matte, photo glossy. And you know what happens when you use those? It takes forever. It's not going to be like a 2-3 minute print, even though it's 8.5 by 11. It's going to take forever. It's going to be real. It's going to be real high quality, even though it's transparent, but it's going to take forever. When you're on borderless, you cannot do the regular schmegular degular settings. It will go to the premium ones. Okay? On plain say, so we can just print out real quick, because, you know, this is just a little letter, especially the jailhouse ones. You're going to wait a long time for it to print out. You trying to print out 30,000 pages? Yeah, it's going to take forever. It's going to take forever. But if I did happen to choose borderless, right? So let's just say for this, gee whiz, don't use high, leave it on standard. And I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit apply. I'm going to hit cancel. And I'm going to hit cancel right here. I'm going to go back into print. Oh, guess what this did? It's going to show me, Houston, we have liftoff. We are going to print borderless. You are going to love this. It's going to go right to the edge. Silhouette Studios preview shows you that. That's why I'm always advocating for it. Get into it. It's free. Why are you not downloading it? Like, seriously. If you don't have Silhouette Studio download, like, what's the problem? What's the problemo? Download it. There's a lot of benefits to having it. Okay. All right. So we're going to cancel on that one. And then your print preview also shows you, like you see now, the print preview moved all the way to the edges. And then we're going to go print again. I hate this print preview. Jesus, cancel. Get off my screen. Oh, I want to show the difference in, I'm going to go here. We're going to exit out. I'm going to go to my Canon one. So we're going to go to my Canon printer. We're going to go preferences. See, we don't see borderless for this one. Even on photo, we don't have borderless for 8.5 by 11. Now, if I went to 8 by 10, actually, no, does this one print borderless? So I'm just going to go standard, quality. If I go down to, there we go. I think that particular one may not do borderless. My other one does, but this one doesn't, if I'm not mistaken. Page setup. Yeah, this one won't do. No, it should, because it says margin 0 to 0.1. So unless I'm like just overlooking, I thought this one may have done print options. Cancel. I think it's the other one that has it. Yeah, not this one. Okay, wait, cancel. Oh, you're off? Dang it, you're offline. You're offline. I thought this one had, oh, see right there, borderless printing, right? Okay, let me see if it's on the other one. So it's right here. Let's see. Yeah, that one doesn't print borderless at all. Well, let me see, hold on, before I say that. Yeah, this one, my Pigment ink one doesn't print borderless at all. My dye one does, but only for certain sizes. So, but what I wanted to show was how thick that border is. So we're going to go here, and it's 8.5 by 11. I'm just going to go okay. I'm going to go apply. I'm going to go cancel. Baby, look. Okay, so what I'm going to do, so you can see the difference, is I'm going to make a box to show that print border. I'm going to go back into print. We're going to exit out. We're going to head on over to one of my workforce printers, preferences, 8.5 by 11, standard, okay, apply, cancel. So the red line is my Canon print border. The gray one, if you guys can see it, is my Epson one. Epson naturally has a smaller print margin, so you get more bang for your buck. But that Canon will eat away at your design. That HP will eat away at your design. Okay? So the print margins are different. All right, that's all I got for you. It says, darn, I'm late. You can watch the playback, but not over on Facebook. Head on over to either our 365 Creative Academy YouTube channel or our Silaholics Anonymous YouTube channel to watch the playback, because they're going to delete this in 30 days anyway. So I'm just going to remove them from Facebook. So head on over to YouTube to watch the playback. We've been in for 2 hours. I said this is like a master class, full on class with this. Okay. My goodness, I needed that last week when making programs. TPTM, the professor taught me. Anyone know what kind of glue to use if you want to make personal notepads? Some people use Mod Podge. Some people use Elmer's glue. There's like specialty glue when you're looking like when you're going to like the websites for supplies, like with binding and things of that nature. And there is glue for like notebooks and things like that, but you literally can use any type of glue. My recommendation is to use a brush with it to brush it on, and also use paper clip, like the binder clips, to keep it bound, like keep them together. And you want to go over it. You want to put an extra page on it. That way you can peel that up and not have because there might be like glue on that part of it. So account for like an extra page. That way, once it settles, you can go ahead and just take that off. But you really can use any thick adhesive. There is no, you have to use this type of adhesive for the notepads. You can use rubber cement. I've seen some people use that because it already has a brush to it. But any adhesive, and just gotta let it dry, and it will work as a notepad. Any other questions? Hope you guys enjoyed this. And folks at my inbox now, I gave y'all silhouette one, okay? I know they're probably gonna be like, this is not what I wanted. They probably want a quick silhouette one, like I did that Canva one. But if I'm gonna do silhouette, baby, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna give you all the gems. So you're just gonna have to piece it together and pull it out of this 2-hour masterclass, okay? You are very, very welcome. And they're giving you some suggestions. Someone says rubber cement works, glitter glue. Thank you. I learned a lot. That's always the goal. Now, if y'all ever want to say thank you, Cash App, HSINK365. My favorite drink is a caramel cookies and cream frappe from Wawa's. I like the 24-ounce. It costs exactly $6.78 if you ever want to contribute to the bad habit of my frappes. They cost $6.78 if you want to buy my next coffee, okay? I know this particular video does not, it's not the greatest for those who was like, this I can watch because of my ADHD. Because I guess, with the longer ones and trying to like stay. That's why I try and keep it kind of fun and lighthearted, like to keep you engaged and doesn't feel like this long, drawn out 2-hour session. But yeah, you're gonna have to go in and pick out the silhouette parts. Okay. So thank you. I will watch the replay because I did have church and came home and seen you were live. Thank you again. You're very welcome. My Cash App, HS. Oh, hold on. It's on here. Hold on. But it's HSINK365. I thought I had like a little thingamajiggy here. What I did with it? I could have sworn I had my little Cash App thingy. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe. Oh, there it is right there. There it is. Y'all have no questions. Y'all be scaring me. Y'all come on these like, oh, you need help. But then y'all get real silent. I don't care how small the question is or you think the question is. If you got questions, you need clarity. It is better for it to be on the recording than you to try and figure it out later. So no matter how insignificant you think the question is, it's best to ask it so that it is on the recording. This is the same thing I tell my students when they pay me and they're coming to classes. You better ask that question so that the answer is on the recording. Now, I know there's always like a little delay. So I'm going to give y'all a minute. Be like Keith Lee. Give y'all a little minute to formulate any questions you may have. If not, I'm going to bed. Okay? Can you show how you took the background out in Silhouette Studio on Silhouette? So it's not a complex background. Okay? You cannot take out complex backgrounds in Silhouette Studio. But if it is a simplified, especially if it's just white, you can use what's called trace and detach. If you are not enrolled in my Essentials of Silhouette Studio training, you need that as well. 30 days was how we initially taught it, but then there is a 14-week refresher and a 10-week review. And I mean, you have it for a lifetime, and there's just so many different lessons in there. As long as you're really watching it, you're taking notes, you are going to master Silhouette Studio. Okay. If you want a little discount, join Creative Lounge first. There is a discount code in there. You get discounts on all of our classes, on our paper, things like that when you are a member of Creative Lounge or the Creative Business Program. Okay. So let me go. I'll just bring in a new image. But you cannot remove complex backgrounds. That's something you'd have to do in Canva, remove BG. You can use Photopea, Affinity, things of that nature to remove those backgrounds. But if it's simple, especially white, wait, where did my thingy go? Okay. Let's see. That's transparent. That's transparent. Dang, all these are transparent. Y'all are of no help. All these were PNGs. Okay, no. Okay, I can't open you. Well, damn. Okay, so I want to show something. So I'm gonna, wait, excuse me. Since when, Harpo? Oh, that's not a JPEG file. Okay, I was like, wait, what? Okay, so this one may not though because Everest matches that background a little bit too much. Let's see. Okay, so we'll do that zoom up. That's already a PNG. Dang it, that's a different file. Like, hello. All of these got the background removed. Hello. Minnie Mouse. Oh, damn. Okay, I know this got a white background. Okay, wait a minute now. Now, what you got going on? Hold on now. What you got going on today, Silhouette? Because, oh, that's a web file. Okay, my bad. That's a web file. Oh, damn. The hell? Okay, let me go to the files for MJ's business. Are you? Okay, boom. Here goes something that got a white background. Golly. Jesus Christ. Okay. How you would remove had to go through. Oh, wait, y'all can't even see this. Y'all don't see what I'm going through over here. Let me add this back. My bad. I was about to go in and y'all can't even see it. Y'all are looking at my face stress out over these images. Wait, I didn't show anything else. Like, oh, wait, did I show? And I wasn't sharing my screen? I don't know, but I'll go through this now. So I was having a whole panic attack trying to figure out which images I'm looking at it, but y'all didn't see my screen. But here is just a simple white background. You're going to come over to, it looks like a little butterfly. You click on that, select trace area, and place you don't have to do the whole thing. I didn't mean to do the whole thing. Because this is all white, you literally can just place your box. And you can come from any direction right around the image, the element, right? You're going to take your threshold up until all of the edges are masked in yellow. Now, this has like white at the top, so it's a little bit difficult to really get all of the parts because this has white and it's going to make the edges of this kind of jagged. I'm going to take my scale down to try and smooth that out some. All right. And I can always go back in afterwards and fix it up, clean it up. And then we're going to hit trace and detach. Trace and detach. And see that pulls that away. Now, if you're going to do it for the design, you don't have to really clean it up. If you're going to use it for something else, you have to clean it up. Now, this one, even though it's full color, there is contrast between the main image and the background, right? So we would be able, and they're darker colors than the background. So I'm just going to place the box here. Ooh, maybe not. I thought I would have enough with this one. I thought it would be dark enough. Dang it, it's not dark enough. All right, hold on. Let me see something. Let's see if I can temporarily. I was just gonna make it darker. Dang it, that one I can't do. I did one of them where I removed that background. I gotta find one that has. a colored background to it. See, I know I could with that one, but it's just the wrong file format. Writer won't do it because he has white on his arms. I'm trying to find one that has a color background, but show that you can still remove. Okay, let's go into here and then group by, group by type. And then go down to the JPEGs. JPEG and let's see, I might be able to do it with that one. This probably has too many shadows for me to do that. Delete. Oh, this one might be good because the background is light. Okay. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to go to the trace, select trace area. I'm going to place my box right here. I'm going to increase my threshold. Dang it. The trees got me. It won't let me do it. I would have to do a manual trace, and that sucks. I thought it would be enough of a contrast, but oh, I see why. It's really light right here. That sucks, but I'll just do this one. This one I know works because I've done it before. Because this is really light in the middle. So I'm going to reverse this. Oh, no, not you. Reverse it to make this the darker one. That part is the lighter one. And then select trace area. Place my box. Increase my threshold. Now, I know I did this one before. Why are you picking up? I did this one before. Because I just did a Mean Girls. I mean, not a Clueless thing. And I just, I did it for Mean Girls, but I just did this. Why are you not? But there are times where even if it's a color background, you can remove it. It just has to be dark enough. Or maybe it was the regular way. I'm trying to remember, what did I end up doing to get this out? Did I do the regular trace method? Maybe that's what I end up having to do. Hold on. Hello. Control Shift E, release compound path. I don't think it was that though, because there's an opening. I don't know what this is doing. Release compound path. I really want to show one where it's color because you can't, it's like certain ones you can't. I mean, it's far and few between, but when there is color, you technically can, especially also when it's like that gray and white, you can remove it. But if there's enough contrast and a darker foreground and lighter background or vice versa, you normally can isolate it from the background. Okay, this one is light enough where I can definitely show with this because that background is really, really light. But complex ones, I guess I said that, complex ones, it doesn't do well. But if there is enough contrast, you can get it to remove sometimes. All right, so I'm just going to do this one. It's color, but it's light. Oh, yeah. I'm just going to delete all of this because it's going to slow my computer down. All right, so we'll go here. And then I'm going to go select trace area, place my box, increase my threshold just to capture this part and her headband. There we go. Oh, her earring. And then trace and detach. Boom. There we go. See? You can do it on certain colors. All right. So that's that. All righty. So no new questions. Thank you guys so very much. Hopefully this masterclass was helpful for you. Share it with a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, share it out. Save it to a playlist that you can come back to it. If you want to get to specific parts, I highly recommend that you use the comment section and create a timestamp for yourself, because I'm not going to go back and timestamp this. So if you are going through it, if you've been on this long or you made it this far and you're watching the playback of it, as you go back through it, I highly recommend going through the comment, go into the comments, and normally there's like a little button, you click it and it's like a timestamp, or you can just look at the time and put it on there, write your comment for what that part is. So if it was how to remove a background, put a timestamp on it, and that way you or anybody else, when they come back to it, they click on that timestamp, it'll take you right to the part where I was removing the background. So I encourage you guys, utilize the comments to help yourself by putting timestamps in the comments. Even if you don't leave an actual comment, just put the timestamp. You can always go right back to that moment. All right. Visit our website, shop.hsinc365.com. We have the most amazing sublimation paper ever. Our sublimation paper allows you to sublimate as low as 365 degrees, 30 seconds. You can use plain paper setting and get amazing results. You don't have to use premium matte because of the way that our paper releases. No butcher paper is required. So you're going to get full heat onto the back of that image, and it's going to release beautifully. Ink, we're a little low on that, but paper we definitely have 8.5 by 11 all the way up to 13 by 19. And then you also can get access to our classes there to build up rewards points so that you can get money off of future classes or products. And then Learn.365 Creative Academy is where all of our classes live. We have a plethora of classes, party favors, memorials, foam board, business classes, design classes, silhouette classes, Canva classes, Photoshop classes. There's a plethora of things. Pricing for profit, pricing therapy, sublimation seminars, sublimation boot camps. It's a lot there, okay? And they're all individual classes and or programs. So go ahead and check that out and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Stillaholics Anonymous, Honestly Speaking, and 365 Creative Academy. All right, y'all. Until next time. Do I have a Zelle number? It is our business number, 754 333 0335. It's also on our website. But 754-333-0335. All right. Thank you for that. All right. Until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace. And thank you to, I did see my Cash App going off. So to anyone that said thank you, let me send the Cash App. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.